I will be critically analyzing A Fistful of Dollars, a spaghetti western film that is representative of the transnational movement in film history. Made in Spain in 1964, this film was directed by Sergio Leone and stars Clint Eastwood. I will be analyzing elements within specific scenes and sequences that support this production as a spaghetti western transnational film. A few factors play into making this film transnational. Firstly, the cultural diversity among the cast. There were Americans, Italians, Germans, Austrians, and many others. Communication was difficult, as not everyone spoke the same language. Dialogue and sound effects were dubbed over post-production in English, Spanish, and Italian. Secondly, the director, Sergio Leone, is Italian. The term spaghetti western was made up by Spanish journalist Alfonso Sanchez, referring to low-budget films that were made in Italy during the 1960s and early 1970s. The budget was $200,000 USD, but still there were threats of the production shutting down due to financial arguments between Sergio and two co-producers. The title sequence is my first example representing the transnational movement. The soundscape reveals Western guitar music. Iconic whistling and whipping sound follows shortly behind, along with the visuals, showing a white silhouette of a cowboy riding a horse over a red background. This technique of using contrasting color title sequences became very popular in many spaghetti Western films, such as Day of Anger and Django Prepare a Coffin. The sound of gunshots goes off when the first title card appears of Clint Eastwood's name in big bold writing. A very common titling technique in many spaghetti Westerns. Quick flashes of color switching are shown within the sequence, most frequently when gunshots are fired. This is most effectively done when the viewer sees silhouettes of cowboys drawing their guns and shooting at each other, already establishing the violence and conflict to come. About halfway through the sequence, a banjo starts playing, picking up the pace. The banjo is a very iconic Western instrument used for the soundscape of various other spaghetti Western films. Towards the end of the sequence, the design gets more intricate, showing black circular geometric designs framing the rider. Another shot shows black strips showing silhouettes of riders moving in an unfamiliar way. The sequence ends with an extreme wide shot of a rider on his horse surrounded by clear solid color, reflecting the vast emptiness of a desert plain. This sequence sets up the film as a transnational spaghetti western, showing a sort of preview of what's to come through gunshots and conflict, exhibiting no real presence of a good guy, as the only real action was cowboys galloping away and shooting at each other. This next scene I'd like to call the Get 3 Coffins Ready scene. It starts with a tracking shot of Clint Eastwood walking towards the Baxters. As he passes the coffin maker, asking him to get 3 ready, he's pretty much confessing that he's about to kill some people. A wide shot of Clint Eastwood is shown while 2 Baxters enter the foreground, positioned as if they're about to face off. An eye-level shot shows Clint calmly asking that they apologize for spooking his horse. A high angle is used to show the Baxters laughing, showing that they feel as though they are in power in this moment. A close-up of Clint's face is then used, showing his unamused expression. The sequence goes on to show a close-up of one of the Baxters moving his hand towards his gun holster. A very classic shot in Western films. Everyone suddenly pulls out their guns, but not before Clint shoots them all down. Before leaving the crime scene, Clint is yelled at, saying that he will hang for what he did. Clint aims his gun ready to shoot. After revealing himself as sheriff, Clint holsters his gun and tells him to put those bodies in the ground, then proceeds to walk away. This scene shows Clint Eastwood as the anti-hero with his twisted morals. Although the audience is on Clint's side, it's not necessarily the good side. This last example I would like to call the machine gun attack scene. Clint and his bar owner friend watch the action from the distance. The scene starts out peaceful, but quickly turns into an all-out massacre of the Mexican army. In classic Western films, honorable people are generally fighting for a cause, whereas in spaghetti Westerns, such as this one, people are just playing each other for profit. In this film, the machine gun symbolizes the death of honorable combat, which is a staple in many classic Western films, as well as the fact that it's considered dishonorable to shoot someone in the back or kill them by surprise. This spaghetti Western pretty much removed any honor that comes with war, replacing one-on-one shootouts with all-out massacre by machine gun. So this scene pretty much mocks any honor or combat related aspects of the classic Western genre. The scene ends with the winning side laughing and the entire Mexican army dead. Each of these examples portray different aspects of the spaghetti Western genre within the transnational movement, resembling a sort of parody of normal Western films, mocking the classic American West. Sergio Leone was influenced by several films for various aspects of A Fistful of Dollars. Yojimbo, a samurai movie made in 1961, directed by Akira Kurosawa, was the main influence. In fact, A Fistful of Dollars resembled Yojimbo almost shot for shot, as Akira's film was also a reworking of traditional Hollywood westerns. This encouraged Akira to try and sue Sergio's production. The matter was settled out of court, and Akira received 15% of the film's gross made worldwide. On top of that, Akira also received exclusive distribution rights rights in Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan, where as a joke the name was changed to The Return of Yojimbo. Another influence was The Rifleman, a Western TV show made in 1958, directed by Arnold Lavin. The main character only ever used a rifle. Sergio replicated this in the central villain character Raymond. I have critically analyzed several scenes from this film, providing evidence affirming that A Fistful of Dollars is indeed a spaghetti western film, part of the transnational movement. Thank you for watching, and cue the references.